Hello once again everybody, this is Base Jalarin, and we are back again for another in-depth manga collection tour. And this is the 5th bookshelf, which is a bookshelf you never really see in any of my videos because it sits where my phone usually sits. So you never really see it. So this is it. This is it, and that's my cat, and she's gonna try to fuck you. You know, we will move you at a later date. Right now, we will just get right on with the video. Not trying to make it too long, and first and foremost we are going up here to where we keep the Trigun, and it kind of looks like it's in jail or something. But these are the omnibuses that Dark Horse put out for Trigun, which is complete, and Trigun Maximum, which is complete. I bought this for my husband, 100%, just 100% purchase just for him, because he really likes Trigun, which is kind of funny because I don't think Trigun was very popular with like a Japanese audience. But yeah, it's Trigun. All of Trigun and Trigun Maximum. And then down here we have the Neon Genesis Evangelion, the Shinji Ikari Raising Project Omnibuses 1 through 4. This is just kind of like a comedy, kind of rom-com spin-off of Evangelion. Again, I really like when you have spin-offs of series that are like generally a lot more serious. And Neon Genesis Evangelion, the Shinji Ikari Raising Project, is probably one of the more famous ones. I'm going to hold off because Volume 5 of the omnibuses have come out, but I'm going to hold off on purchasing that until Dark Horse releases. They have one more volume until they finish, like, actually complete the series in the single volumes. So I'm going to wait and see if they're going to continue and actually like follow through with the series, because I don't trust Dark Horse at all. Next up we have Nichijou, My Ordinary Life, volumes 1 through 10, which is complete. This is just a fun, wacky comedy. It's a little more, like, people like to recommend this if you like something like Azumanga. This is a little more of a screwball comedy than Azumanga. Azumanga is a little more rooted in reality than Nichijou, but Nichijou is a fun romp. And it's definitely for fans of Azumanga, but it's a little more crazy. Next up we have Nijigahara Holograph, which is a single volume by Inyo Asano. This is a really, really great book. It's hardcover, and the page quality is really, really nice. It's just a really, really confusing story, and to this day, I can't 100% piece it together. It might be because I'm stupid, which is a very common problem with me. But nevertheless, it's a really great story, and I definitely suggest picking it up because Fantagraphics Books, who are the people who publish this specific release, tend to let their stuff go out of print after a while. So if you're an Inyo Asano fan, I definitely suggest getting on this as soon as possible. Next up we have Nirvana, Volume 1. This is a really cool isekai manga about a girl who's she like dies in like our world, the real world, and she wakes up in this like other world that's kind of like Southeast Asian sort of feel, and it turns out that they believe that she is a reincarnation of like a goddess, and it's just a really fun action kind of adventure story, and I really, really like it. Next up we have No Matter How You Look at It. It's Your Guys' Fault, I'm Not Popular, volumes 1 through 11. This series is like looking into a fucking mirror sometimes. I absolutely love it, and I just, even if the cringe is like high potent cringe, it's just really, really good, and I love it. Next up we have Not Simple, which is a single volume. I bought this a really long time ago, like back when I was in high school, and it was just crazy, crazy, crazy. Like, it became like one of like the manga staples of like my little group that I was in, that everybody had to own Not Simple, because we all fucking loved it. It's a really great single volume story, and I definitely suggest picking it up, and I dare not spoil anything that happens in here. I just want every single hard-hitting blow to be a surprise for anybody who decides to pick this up, especially if you like Natsume Ono's work. But yeah, definitely if you have not gotten into Not Simple, get into Not Simple. Next up we have NTR, Netsuzo Trap, volumes 1 through 4. My least favorite Yuri, because it's, well, I'm not, Yeah, you know why I don't like this. It's just a yuri where, like, the central, like, theme is these two girls are cheating on their boyfriends with each other. And it's like, ew, no. I mean, I like yuri, which is why I have this, because I'm just devoted to yuri. But I do not like the theme behind this. And I've read, like, the last chapter of NTR, because I'm a filthy, filthy fool. And it's like, nobody learns anything. Just throwing that out there. Nobody in NTR Netsuzo Trap learns anything. It's just, cheat on your boyfriend, girls, with your girlfriends. Do it. Do it. Next up we have Nurse Hitomi's Monster Infirmary, Volume 1. And down here we have Volumes 2 through 7. This is kind of a guilty pleasure sort of series. It's a little sort of fan servicey, but it's a Monster Girl series, but it's a little more abstract. It's not just like your basic, like, garden variety Monster Girls. Like, I think the most basic Monster Girl they have in this series is the main character, who's like a Cyclops. But everybody else is like sort of non-conformatory to the basic Monster Girl structure, and every single volume they introduce like a whole new like monster boy or girl, and it's just really, really cool, and I really like it, especially the art style. I don't know what it is about the art style, but it's really, really cute and just really, really nice, and I absolutely love it. Next up we have Ocean of Secrets, Volume 1. I don't know, I'm kind of giving up on making the video, because, I don't know, I'm kind of losing, I don't know what the word is, but I'm afraid I'd be shamed, but the general opinion of Tokyopop manga in this day and age is not very high, and I don't know what the reaction would be if I were to make a video praising Tokyopop manga. I don't know if it would be cringe, but yeah, I got that. It's not the best. I will just tell you right now, it's not the best. It's kind of an amateur debut work from just a self-taught artist, like I've said. There's a lot of stuff that might bug people if you look into it. It's just not the most polished work, we should say. Next up we have One Punch Man, Volumes 1 through 5. Volume 1, which being the progenitor of me actually finally collecting One Punch Man, is from Loot Anime, which is the special collector's edition with the cool yellow and black cover. Yeah, I'm jumping on that hype train finally, but like I've said before, I'm not collecting it as fast as everybody else. I'm not like keeping up to date. I'm just picking up volumes where and when I can. Eventually I'll probably catch up. We'll see in April what happens, because it's my birthday month and money usually tends to, come your way during your birthday, so we'll see if I can't pick up a few more of these. Next up we have 1 Week Friends, Volume 1. This is a sort of like a romance about a guy who kind of falls for a girl who every week she forgets all of like the personal relationships she's made over that week, so she can't make friends because she'll like forget about them the next week. And it's just about this guy trying to make friends with her regardless. It's a really unique setup because it's part regular manga, part 4-koma, and that's really cool, and I really like it. Next up we have Satoshi Kon's Opus. A definite must-have for anybody who likes collecting manga, who has a manga collection at all. It is a wonderful, wonderful story. It breaks the fourth wall in like the greatest way. It's just an absolute treat for the eyes and just for it's wonderful, okay? I don't want to put Satoshi Kon up on a pedestal, but it's really, really good. It's nice, even though it's kind of incomplete. There's one other Satoshi Kon manga out there that's incomplete, but how it ends is perfectly okay. Next up we have Orange, the complete collection, volumes 1 and 2, and Orange Future, which is complete. This is a masterpiece. It is beautiful, wonderful. It'll tug at your heartstrings, even if you don't even have heartstrings to tug. It is a wonderful story, and that's all I can say about it. It's just a beautiful romance story which is why everybody's getting super kind of disappointed by the author's other work, Dream and Sun, because Orange was such a hard hitter, and Dream and Sun's just kind of a shoujo manga. But yeah, definitely read Orange if you have not already. Next up we have Oraimo, volumes 1 through 4, which is complete, utter trash, and it is here in my collection taking up space because I am complete and utter trash, and fuck you. I don't know, I don't have a reason for why I have Oraimo. I just have Oraimo. Because I have no shame. Woo! To be fair, it doesn't go as far as the anime eventually did. They don't, like, actually confess their love to each other. It's kind of, like, brushed off and kind of sort of alluded to. It's not very gross, but still, it's still incest. It's still gross. Next up, we just have the comic anthology, which is just a bunch of, like, guest artists drawing one-shots for Oraimo. You know, the usual. Then we have Otome Mania, volumes 1 and 2, which is complete. This is a very, meta story. It's about this girl who works at a video game company who makes otome games. Games for, women. Like visual novels for women. And the way it's set up is, like, it's set up like it would be a visual novel. Like an otome game. And it's just a fun little series, little quick 2-volume series. And I really like it, and it just got some cute guys, you know. Shallow shit. Next up we have Paradise Kiss, the vertical release, which is volumes 1 through 3, which is complete. Definitely did not have the patience to go and look for the Tokyopop release of this series, because it is very hard to find and very expensive, so I figured I would have taken the easy route and just buy the vertical releases instead, which are fine. Which are okay. It really makes me want to collect Nana, though. Like, I feel like I've missed out by not collecting Nana after having read this. Nana is on my, mid-tier for my manga collection challenge, so if I complete my, like, everything on my top-tier manga collection challenge, Nana is probably the next manga I'm going to start going after, because I really want Nana, even if it's incomplete, and probably is going to stay incomplete forever. Next up we have Paradise Residence, volumes 1 through 3, which is also complete. This is a manga by the guy who did Oh My Goddess and Topu GP. This is just a fun little slice of life about just girls living in a dorm. And volume 1 is really fucking confusing, because as you can see, volumes 2 and volume 3, especially volume 2, are super, like, thin, and volume 1 is fat. And that's because there are 2 volumes in volume 1. There's volume 1 and there's volume 0, and volume 0 comes after volume 1, when they really honestly just could have put this out in a 4-volume series and just better been done with it. They set up volume 1 where it had volume 1 just, and everything that's happening in volume 1 is happening without context. And then it presents volume 0, and it's like, here's all the context for all the stuff that happened in volume 1. It's like, thanks, buddy. But yeah, Paradise Residence is okay. I'd pick it up if you like Kosuke Fujishima's work. Otherwise, it's not something that I would recommend, like, oh, you gotta go buy this. It's okay. It's just a fun little slice of life. Next up we have Please Tell Me Galko-chan, volumes 1 through 4, an absolute banger of a series. 100% one of my favorite series. It's just a fun manga about, like sort of, like, defying social norms. Especially, that's one of the main themes, because you have all these girls who each represent kind of like a stereotype. Like, you have, like, Garuko, who is the gal, and Otoko, who is the big ol' otaku, and Himeko, I think is her name, who's like the very, like, very pretty rich girl, and a bunch of other really cool characters too. Like, this girl, I forget her name, but I remember her nickname. It's Sonic Meat, and she is my favorite. She is my fucking favorite in this whole manga. I love you, Sonic Meat. Next up we have A Polar Bear in Love, volumes 1 and 2. This is just a cute, fun little series about a polar bear who falls in love with a seal. The art style is just very simple, one would say even childish. Very, very minimalistic, but absolutely adorable. Like, look at this cute little polar bear and this seal. It's just very cute. If you buy shit just for the cute, definitely Polar Bear in Love is a must-have. It's very nice, and I can't get it back in the bookshelf. I've made an error. I have become error. Alright, and next up we have The Prince in His Dark Days, volumes 1 through 4. This is an okay manga. It's not the best manga, but it's an okay manga. I feel it could have gone on maybe a little longer, but it's not the best, but it's okay. It's a sort of a gender bender sort of thing, where, the main character is sort of roped into standing in for this really rich guy, and she just has to, like, she gets her hair cut, and she has to go to his, like, school, like, not all-boys school, I don't think it's an all-boys school. She has to go to his school, and has to, like, act like him, and impersonate him. It's a fun, little quick romance series, sort of, kind of. But yeah, it's okay. Next up we have Princess Jellyfish, omnibuses 1 through 7. This is a really fun josei series, about a girl, I forget her name. I forget names so easily, y'all. But she lives in this sort of, like, boarding house with a bunch of other otaku girls, and they're all into, like, really, like, niche, kind of weird shit. And they all live in this house, and it's, in danger of being bought up by this, sort of, development company who's planning on building, like, I don't know what I think they're trying to build, like, other apartments or some other kind of other development. So they've bought out, like, everything else in their neighborhood, and they're trying to buy out, like, their, living quarters, and of course they're all, like, antisocial otaku women, so there's nothing much they can do, but they get help from this other guy who's really into cross-dressing, and then when they first meet him, they think he's a girl, and they continue to think he's, like, the only person who's in on it is, like, the main girl. Everybody else thinks he's a girl, like, the whole time. But yeah, it's a really fun series. It's almost over. I think we got one or two more of these, and we're gonna be finished, which I'm very, very excited for. Because I watched the anime before I read the manga, and when the manga went past the anime, it's just been really, really fun ever since. It's really great. Oh, excuse me, I'm so rude. Next up, we have The Promised Neverland, volumes 1 and 2. I need to go back and read this, because I think I read volume 1 when I was, like, half asleep, and I haven't read volume 2. I think what I should do is I should hold off and maybe buy, like, 2 or 3 more volumes of this, and then binge it. I feel like that's what I should do with this series. But yeah, I hear nothing but good things about it, so I trust it's going to be fantastic, but I'm gonna wait until I've built up a bit of a backlog, and then I will read it. Next up, we have Prophecy, volumes 1 through 3, which is complete. This is a fun, quick mystery series about this guy who is kind of like a viral sensation. He has, like, I think it's like a website or a YouTube channel, and he'll appear, and he's wearing, like a newspaper or something over his head so no one can see his face, and he deals out, like, punishment to people who he believes need to be brought to justice. And then you have, like, the detective agency who's trying to, like, catch this guy because he keeps on, like, doing, like, really seedy things. And it's just a really, really fun mystery. And it's really short, obviously. It's only 3 volumes. I definitely recommend picking it up if you like a good mystery. Good thriller mystery. Really nice. Next up, we just have the Madoka Hoard, which I don't have a lot to say about because it's just, I fucking love Madoka Magica. Like, it's probably one of my favorite anime of all time, so when the manga started coming out, I haven't bought on all of them. A lot of, like, the spin-offs that don't star the main cast, I do not own. Like, Kazumi Magica, and I think there's, like, other one, I think it's, like, Shizuka Magica or something, it starts with an S. I can't be bothered to remember since I don't own it. But all the other ones I've, like, jumped on for God knows what reason. And there's other, like, Madoka Magica manga, and I really hope they continue on with publishing it, because I'm a Madoka fiend, and I will buy anything with Madoka. But we have Madoka Magica, the original series, which is 1 through 3, which is complete. Madoka Magica Homura's Revenge, volumes 1 and 2, which is complete. Madoka Magica The Different Story, volumes 1 through 3, which is complete. Madoka Magica, the movie Rebellion, volumes 1 through 3, which is complete. Oriko Magica, volumes 1 and 2, which is complete. The single volume of Oriko Magica Extra Story. Oriko Magica Sadness Prayer, volumes 1 and 2, and down here we have volume 3. And then we have Tarte Magica, The Legend of Jeanne d'Arc, volumes 1 through 5, which is complete. And then speaking of magical girls, we have Sailor Moon, volumes 1 through 12, Sailor V, volumes 1 through 2, and Sailor Moon Side Stories, volumes 1 and 2, which is all complete. And honestly, when this came out, I really wanted it because back when I was in middle school, I bought the Tokyopop release for Sailor Moon, which was those tiny little, I think they were flipped, but they were really small, I recall. And I had volume 1, and I had full intention of continuing to buy the series. I just didn't have a lot of money because I was in middle school. You don't have a lot of money when you're 12. But I had volume 1, and I lent it out to a friend because she really wanted to read it. Biggest fucking mistake of my life. That taught me never to trust anybody ever with my manga, because that girl lost my Sailor Moon volume 1, and I never bothered to buy another one because I was just so betrayed. But yeah, I feel like buying this whole series was just vindication for 12-year-old me who lost volume 1 because she lent it out to a friend who lost it. I've lent out so many manga to friends who've lost them, and I'm never gonna get them back due to various circumstances. But yeah, Sailor Moon is like the ultimate betrayal for me. Like that'll probably stick with me forever. Is when my friend lost. I want to say lost, but I think part of me kind of didn't really trust her. I think she actually just straight up took it and wasn't going to give it back. But yeah, the utter betrayal of somebody losing something that I lent to them. Like, I know this is like a huge fucking tangent that doesn't have to do with anything, but I am a very big, I really hate when I borrow something and I damage it. Like, I remember I borrowed Naruto volumes 2, 3, and 4 from a friend in high school, and I damaged volumes 2 and 3, and I dug into my own pocket money. This was when I was a freshman, I think, so I was young still. So I dug into my own savings, and I bought her brand new volumes of the volumes that I damaged, and I returned the damaged ones and the new ones to her, and I was like, I'm really, really sorry that I damaged your books. And then I have people who I lend manga to, and they just never give it back. Come on, you guys. Give me back my fucking manga. Next up we have Rakia, volumes 1 through 5, which is complete. This is a really cool, kind of supernatural, crazy series about, the end of the fucking world. It is absolutely balls to the walls crazy. I heard it was going out of print, so I bought it really, really quick. I don't know how out of print it is right now, but it's a really cool, fun, action, kind of supernatural series about this girl who, I think she asks a demon or some kind of demonic power to save her family after they're killed in this horrible car accident. And they agree to bring her family back, but she's also destined to become the Antichrist or something as a result of this, which is crazy as hell. But Rakia is a really great series, and I really, really like it. Next up we have School Rumble, volumes 1 through 13, and the omnibus with volumes 14 through 16. This is the ultimate betrayal, the ultimate thorn in my side. The reason why why Kodansha is not my favorite publisher and never will be. And it's because this is a Del Rey series, and Del Rey kind of became Kodansha. And Kodansha, they actually continued a couple of the series that Del Rey had put out, but not School Rumble. I fucking love School Rumble. School Rumble is my favorite school-based comedy series, probably of all time. It might not be yours, but it's definitely mine. And just the fact that they didn't continue publishing the print edition, but they went ahead and started making it into a digital series. And I don't think at this point, because School Rumble is pretty old at this point, I don't think they're going to go back and make it into a print edition, which is just the ultimate, utter betrayal. Just very sad. And then finally on this shelf we have 7 of 7 volumes 1 through 3, which is out of order as hell. Please excuse me. Well, I just rearranged this shit on camera while I tell you about the plot. And it's about this girl, her name is Nana, and she likes this guy whose name I fucking forget because I can't remember names. And he's like trying for this like really like high level, very like prestigious high school. Or at least they think he is going to, because he's a very smart kid. And Nana is an absolute fucking idiot. She can't study, she's just very bad at tests. She's not a very smart cookie. And one day her dad returns home. Her dad is like this crazy case of wanderlust, and he's always like going out and coming back and leaving. And he brings back this stone, and he's like, "Here, Nana, it's a special wishing stone." And she's like, "Aw, sweet, I'm gonna wish so I can go into the same high school as my crush." And she wishes on it, but it turns out this stone actually winds up splitting her into 6 other personalities, so there's 7 of her now, and they all have their own like different quirky personalities. Like there's one that's like super sexy, and there's one that's like a bitch, and there's one that's like super high energy, and there's one who's kind of like really laid back as hell, and I can't remember the rest of them. Shit. But there's one that's always like sad all the time. And it's just a fun little quick 3-volume series. I really liked it. I remember like the ending actually like moved me when I was a young kid, because I got this when I was in middle school going into high school. But yeah, it's just a fun quick little series about this girl who splits into 7 personalities. It's just fun shit. Not a lot of substance. It's just fun. But yeah, that is the entirety of this shelf. I will be seeing you all in the next video. We are finally going to go to the top.